Okay, so we are live. We have a 23-hour moment. Is this the 23-hour moment? I think this is the 23-hour moment. So we have been live for 23 hours, 20 minutes. Um, we are hopefully going to be joined by Olivia from Treasure Green. She did say that she can make it. There was a little bit of an issue that was potentially preventing her from coming on. Jen from the Tea Mistress, who's also a part of the Tea Festival organizing group, is with us on the chat as well. Of course, Ryan Moen, who's been he is the co-director of the Tea Festival, and he's been on. What are you at, Ryan? You're at 26 hours and going strong.
I showed up at your shop at the home base to go grab all the gear. Like I'm not properly set up with kettles, weights, even a proper teapot. You didn't trust me to have a proper teapot, and that was smart. I think Pedro even showed that when I had to get that janky sieve and it acted like it was an extra sieve, but I'm like, that's my teapot.
Yeah. Fair. Okay.
So yeah, like it's been since 9 o'clock yesterday. But you know what? It's been so invigorating. There's been so many like pick-me-ups. There hasn't been really a low. I haven't cried. I don't think we've fought. The internet's definitely fought a few of our guests off.
Yeah. There were some moments.
It fends them off.
It does. Yeah.
It's finicky. Actually, no. I think I got kicked off a call with Skype at one point where I was only a voice.
Skype was interesting. Skype was definitely interesting, but I think we made it through Skype. I think it was the first time that was really challenging. We didn't get a chance for us to really honor a talk we just had too with Jen, and I just wanted to say that conversation ended a little bit haphazardly there, but I wanted to also give that thanks, that gratitude for that. Jen, thank you for the beautiful talk on just how important it is for us all to really it's been a theme for the Tea Festival, right? Which is this idea of being with the tea and letting it center you, but I think you were just really talking about a very almost like a cognitive or like also a spiritual commitment, like making that conscious choice to just take a moment, make it a meditation, make it a practice daily. It's an interesting thing to bring to the table, and I think it's lovely. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you.
So hopefully we have Olivia joining us soon. Olivia owns Treasure Green. It's in Vancouver. It's like Jen was saying before we went on our break. It's one of the it is the oldest tea shop in Chinatown in Vancouver. So yeah, that would be pretty rad if we can get her. We're trying very hard in the background. We know that she's ready and willing. It's just this last little bit here. It's been a quite the challenge to make these sessions live with the folks that we're trying to bring on the show. I know Jen, you had a challenge getting on too, but we did get you on, so it's been good. Maybe what we can do while we're waiting do you think it would be? I wonder if it would be rude to just kind of. Okay, so apparently Olivia does have the link, so it's just a question of clicking on it. So okay, we'll look at the teas that she's brought us. So, what do we got? We got a Treasure Green. Are
we going to do a 5 senses where we're at least going to smell and we're going to look at it and observe it?
Which ones did she send you? We
got a Bui Aoi Shang oolong, and we have a yellow golden oolong.
Goddess.
Yeah. Oh, yellow goddess oolong. Okay. And hold on. I'm just gonna. Why can't I find Streamlabs? There it is. Okay, cool. Broadcasting software.
I was hoping she sent you her Treasure Green tea. It's so lovely. Her sort of house tea.
Okay. Yeah, she sent us a yellow goddess. I'm barely conscious. 23 hours.
It's amazing.
I really want to be present for this too. So it's like being at the end of a quite an interesting. I'm gonna look back at this and ask myself why, but I think that it's been a there's so much to gain and learn from this. I'm just gonna be very careful not to break anything beautiful and precious. Which there's a reason why we need to have care when we're making tea. Don't break anything beautiful and precious. We can all take that one home. Okay. What are we looking at here? What do you want to start with, Ryan? The Bui Rui Cheung Udon?
Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, that's what
Okay,
I'm
then I'm just gonna do what I do all night, and it's just like a kind of observing Jen's practice of just being mindful and kind of observing. I think that my quiet has been probably the most prevalent aspect. So I'm gonna listen and I'm gonna take your advice and we're gonna go together. I'm guessing this has already been weighed out. Is that correct?
That's a good question. I don't think so. Yeah.
I bet you it's been 5 grams. Knowing the helpers at your shop, I bet you it's exactly 5 grams.
I'm hoping.
I'm so appreciating how well, Ryan, Jared. I find it so humorous. You're able to spar a little bit. It's so funny.
Maybe there's my experiences with Japanese greens and the farmers often have this like a small analog scale that they'll use for measuring their tea. So and a fellow who joined me on one of my Jagavision episodes, who has this amazing teapot collection. We were trying to get him to join us for the tea festival this year. He was going to be there at the live version of it. Maki, he also uses a scale just for the measuring of the tea. He's pretty confident in his accuracy of filling the teapot and what those teapots are going to give him. But yeah, he's a big believer in weighing the tea. So let's make that part happen. Okay. So, do you want to join us for are you making something where you in your neck of the woods there?
I'm still working on my roasted Taiwan yen. I think I'm on my 3rd infusion.
Okay.
But I actually have some tea that I've saved from my trip, because I went to China with Olivia once.
Okay, amazing.
And I think I might have a little bit of a pu'er disc left from that trip, and that was in, I think it was like 2011.
Wow. Wow. So you're enjoying did you say you're enjoying my brain not processing information. Did you go for a trip with Olivia in 2011? Is that what you're saying? Or you're drinking a tea?
I was away.
Or you're drinking a tea from 2011. Sorry, my brain kind of crossed wires.
Oh, no, in 2011, I went with Olivia to China.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And for 2 weeks with her partner at the time and her good friend.
Okay.
And we got some lovely pu'ers. And I think this is the last of it. Nope, it's not. I'm going to have to go. I've also got another one from her, because she's got some amazing teas, because her dad opened the tea shop, and so she's got these old teas there that were her dad's collection.
I wonder if I can find some information about this that we're about to drink. I know Steven's hard at work trying to get Olivia to join us live, so
yeah, I hope she can. I haven't seen her in a long time.
It would be amazing. I resent the link a few times. Okay, I can see on my end then. No, it's is she joining from that email? Because it's not showing up on my screen.
You're sending to Olivia at Treasure Green?
That's correct. Yeah, it might be a Gmail that is trying to connect through. You might want to ask her about that. Sorry, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
At the end, the very end of the show, hey, it's of course it feels like this needed to happen somewhere. So, okay, I think we can do this. Do you think she'd be okay with us moving a little bit? Like I feel like her conversation was gonna be on using the 5 senses to taste this tea. I put a preheated pot, 2.5 grams. Really lovely aromatic. This Bui Rui though, that's Bui Rui Shang. I'm really interested in what she has to say about it. So I really hope we can have her come join us.
Is it a Roy Goy from Wuishan?
It looks like Bui Rui Shang, not a Uruguay.
Huh.
Or Uruguay, sorry. Yeah, I know, right? Like I've never actually heard of this particular cultivar, Bui Rui Shang. And I don't have any information on it, so I'm sure she could tell us about it. Well, we'll see what happens. Okay.
In the spirit of all our presenters, I think, yeah, we can boil water and we can drink tea and we can love with all our intentions for, the reason that the tea's in front of us. I mean, without her, we wouldn't have this.
This is true. Okay, so let's move forward. Forgive us, Olivia. We're going to.
Thank you, Olivia.
Yes.
We're not committing a crime here. It's tea.
Hey, thank you.
It's meant to
Olivia.
be drank.
We are pouring the water. Okay, so just added that. The rinse.
So you're doing a 10-second rinse or just a cover over rinse?
A covered over rinse, like 3 seconds. Oh wow.
Oops.
This reminds me a lot of this has got to be like a Wuyi Mountain tea, I would imagine, but it might be. It's like a darker roast. It's really, really fascinating. Okay. Hard at work in the background there. Well, I feel like we could join her. Like she can get into the test call, but not into this call. It'd be interesting to go join that call, all of us, hey? But I know it was yeah. Anyway, okay. So I'm gonna do instead of 150, I'm gonna do like 75 grams because this is a 2.5 gram dose. So I'm assuming that that's a half dose. A lot of people do the Gong Fu Cha with like 5 grams, 150. So I'm gonna just half it. Because you and I split it, Ryan.
Ooh, that's why I was wondering why the 2.5.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Jared.
Okay, amazing. Hope we can get her on.
And sorry, you're going to put it 70 grams of water?
I put in 70 grams of water, and it was like a fairly fast infusion.
How long is fairly fast? Or should I just feel it?
For me, I felt like, 20 seconds-ish was where I was at. Okay. It's a quiet moment. Okay. Okay. I would feel that probably Olivia would tell us to go a little longer with that tea, rather than the 15 seconds. She'd probably be like, hey, take that a little bit longer, guys, like more like the 30 or the 40-second realm, as it does taste lighter than she probably wants us to be drinking it.
Something that's really amazing about Olivia's tea shop is when you go in there, she's got her tea table where you're always welcome to come and sit. It reminded me very much of going to China and Taiwan, going into tea shops where you can go in and sample many teas, and then you buy a tea, and that's sort of the way to do it. But what I love is it's like I do with postcard teas in London, is I make a day of it, and I don't know if the tea shop owner really likes that or not, but I there's something about spending a day and bringing a book in a tea shop and just sort of quietly watching all the different people that come in and in Olivia's shop, you can see that there's a lot of old members of the original Chinese community in Vancouver come in and pay respect to her and her family in the shop,
Nice.
because her mom often helps out in the shop.
Hmm.
I imagine she's still around. I haven't spoken to Olivia for a while. I hope her mom is still around. She's a really uh, smart lady, and that was something I always enjoyed about sitting in her tea shop, is that these different members of the community would come in and say hello and sort of, yeah, just show their appreciation for them being there and what they're offering to the community.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, I had a moment in there, just one with her. We spent about an hour together drinking tea, and I just remember marveling at just the. I mean, it's a beautiful space. It's set up really
Right.
nicely, and the menu had some really fantastic. We mounted like some rock oolongs that just looked fantastic,
Yes, an
and
extensive menu. Yeah.
yeah, it was lots of different selections, but those really stood out at me. And I really liked her matter of fact style. Very. This is something I really wanted to bring to the tea festival. I'm hoping we still can. As she's got a
Yeah.
very direct way of being that I really appreciate. So I'm gonna try one more time, guys. I want you to. Do you guys mind taking the floor here for a moment while I just I step back and try and figure this out with her myself, and maybe
Sure.
okay, all right. So I'm gonna give you the floor, guys.
I think it's so beautiful that you and Jared are both. We've talked a lot about how tea will stimulate the senses and the sense of memory, and that uh, what might seem like just general conversation is your shared memories. And I think it's beautiful that tea can evoke memories, but it can also build memories, because all of us together, everybody watching is now learning and is starting to associate this. And then those of us lucky enough to be drinking this or whatever tea you're drinking are going to start to imprint that. That's beautiful.
Oh, that's a nice way to look at it, Ryan. I like that a lot. Um, I think, yeah, tea is a beautiful memory. I like, and that's why I like keeping a nice tea collection, and why it's so beautiful to share tea with friends, not only in person, but also to send teas. You know, how everybody for the festival here has been sending teas in so you can drink them together. I think is really, really special. There's something, they can tell you the story of the tea, and then it's like you said, in sharing in that moment, you then get a sort of a vicarious lived experience with that tea. And it'd be nice to have a little, how they have those like gifting sort of loops where you send a package of tea to the first person on the list, and then you have you seen those? Have you had those emails before?
Not I.
No,
No.
okay, so it's like a gifting circle, and sometimes people do it with like crafting. And so what happens is, uh, you you pick 25 people, say, or 50 people, and two people are at the top of the list. I can't really remember how it works, but and then everyone sends. When you get the email, you send a beautiful tea to whoever's first on the list, and then you put your name underneath it, and then it gets sent to the next person, and then you end up getting 25 beautiful teas to try from different people. And it could be nice if we did that, and you wrote a small story about the tea that you're sending, and then that way you can just have more conversation around tea, and especially with people that really kind of get into their tea. It's a nice way. There was an article in Vice that wrote about Camellia sinensis, and they called it Tea Club. And it's a funny article. It's about this journalist goes in, and I guess at Camellia sinensis, once a month they have this not so secret tea club where people all come together and they drink tea all night, and they bring their sort of finest pu'ers, and everybody stays up, gets tea drunk, tea high, and just all night elates in these stories of tea adventures and tea travel. And I don't know, it sounded like my idea of a good time. Mm.
Yeah, I don't think that I think there's going to be many people that want to do that. I think if people played their cards right, they could have done that with us for the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
This will be on YouTube. They can pull it off for 24 hours, and especially where most of our guests had websites, you could follow along and go through this like a guided exercise, kind of like a guided meditation of knowing what's coming, but then each time that you're experiencing it, going through like a piece of this festival, you could continuously see how your relationship to that tea changes from hearing people talk about it. And so that kind of gives you both the now, where we can't be in person, and the many, so that you are enjoying with lots of different people. And maybe you do one tea at a time, so that you don't have to wait for all 25 or 24. We did trust me, we did about 30 teas today, I think.
Oh, I like that idea. It's nice to think of different ways we can all collaborate and keep a conversation going, and enjoying with that. Are you in Victoria, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm just 10 minutes up from Jagged Silk in James Bay, so
Okay.
I've been running back and forth, and it's that nice. I've even had Mike at one point deliver teas to me. That was an amazing service, where we had teas coming over from Vancouver to Jagged Silk to like a full-on run up here during a talk, and had it brewed for the next speaker. It's been brilliant being this close, and I've gone down. And again, Micah being the kind of genius that he is, he was awake at the time in the night, and then was able to serve me some of the tea that Jared had brewed up. So it's been really lovely to be this close.
How did you get involved with the tea festival and with Jagged Silk?
I just wanted a wintertime festival. It was I have cherished Victoria for a few decades now, and I think, oh, sorry, do we have somebody on there? Okay. All right, well, when we see a screen come up, I'll believe you. Done.
Oh, thanks for waiting, guys. Finally. Oh, yeah.
Welcome.
I actually not looking at the screen, so hello everyone. I'm trying to look at the screen, but it's on the other side, so I can't really see it. But good to see everyone, and good to be on. Oh, perfect. Oh, 白瑞香。Hmm. Okay. Oh, Absolutely, yes. You and I have met. For me, I'm Olivia, of course. I'm from Treasure Green Tea, and I'm second generation in the tea business. My father opened a shop in 1981, and I took over the business officially in 2003. So I do my own sourcing, and one of my favorite tea, of course, as I want to share with everyone, is Cliff Tea from Wuyi Mountain. So Jared has already got a head start on it, and I was going to the Bai Rui Shan is actually one that I'm focusing on today. Although I've sent you two teas, because I wanted you to do a comparison. So I gave you two packets of this guy, and yeah. So the Yellow Gouda is actually a hybrid of Iron Buddha as well as Wang Jingui, who's a hybrid, and they planted in Wuyi Mountain. So it is a lighter version of Cliff Tea. And the one that you try is this packet, am I correct? Oh. That's okay, no worries. Yeah, so this one, that's okay. It probably, if you say Bai Rui Shan, would be probably this one. Now you did half packet, so it's only about less than 3 grams or so. Traditionally in Wuyi Mountain, they make about 8 grams to about 10 grams, but I decided to package them a little smaller because a lot of people are not, because it's very bold and very overpowering sometimes. So so there's 6 grams each pack. So if you did half pack, that makes it 3 grams. Yes, it's one of the tea that's regarded as very powerful in terms of aroma, in terms of what we call yan flavor. Yan flavor is, that's something I want to talk about today as well. Yan flavor is very difficult to actually to put a description to it because it's a feeling of yan meaning the cliff. It's the mineral, and it's the feeling that gives you. It's like almost like listening to a piano that music that goes into your head and it brings you to a different environment. So that kind of feeling it gives you. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. So that's the yan flavor that we are talking about. So from through that, then you can tell it's an authentic cliff oolong tea. There's also, when I say authentic, that means they're grown in the reserve. And there's a tea also grown in the half cliff tea that has been in the border. And there's also tea that we regard as in the region. And those are called, typically they should be called Wuyi tea instead of rock tea or cliff tea. Some people call it rock tea. That's why I mentioned that word. Yeah, okay. So the way to enjoy it when you have, how to tell is authentic cliff oolong, very simple. The mineral should be very present.
Okay.
So when you drink it, I was going to show you how to slurp, but we went through that, Jarek, some time ago, or a year ago.
Hey, I know it feels like that long. It was before the world ended. It was a moment in time before that happened. Now we're Ryan has not had your tea. He's not had but he does have some tea with him, and he's also enjoying this. He's the fellow who we split with. So we started it. We're supposed to slurp, and I remember this instruction. I found that really fascinating. There was a way for you to throw the liquid over your tongue that allowed you to experience it a little bit differently.
Yes. Yeah. So if you have some, slurping first of all, slurping is not for every tea. I do see sometimes people have a habit of slurping. Now, slurping is not for all the teas. Okay, slurping actually thin out the texture of the tea, and the purpose of slurping cliff tea really is to aerate the liquid in your palate, so you taste the mineral as well as make it smoother. So when it's smoother, then you pick up notes, right? Okay. So first of all, I'm gonna make this tea. I'm not. Are you sipping on that already? Okay, let's make some tea.
Okay.
So I'm gonna make the Bai Rui Shang, and I'm gonna go for 6 grams.
Good.
By the way, if you are in Wu Yi Mountain, their portions 8 grams to 10 grams.
Right.
In actually smaller Gaiwan to about 120 Gaiwan.
I have a friend.
And I found it that's actually quite powering.
I have a friend from the corner region in Wu Yi Mountain who brings 8-gram pouches sometimes with him, and it's a pretty intense experience. It's really good though, right? It's just very, very strong. It's a lovely way to have it as well, though. Yeah. This is So I'm following with the second infusion. Am I being bad? Should I not be doing this? I feel like I should have been waiting.
That's okay. You need that energy. You've been on a marathon.
Thank you. I feel like I would normally hope that I could be in a place where I would be just step back a bit and let Olivia lead this. And here I am jumping ahead on my second infusion.
Plus, I was 15-20 minutes late.
Oh, no,
we had some technical problem, but I'm just as excited as I was 15 minutes ago.
Okay,
so
cool.
No worries.
Okay, great.
So
Oh.
It's.
Oh no.
Oh. Did we lose ya? I think we might have lost her.
I lost you for a bit there.
For a moment. Okay, we got you back. Okay, great.
Just a few seconds, you're back.
You're back.
Okay. So lots of
It's okay.
Can we hear you? Olivia, are you there?
I am.
Okay, awesome. So I heard lots of orc, and then it kind of shut it off.
Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Perfect. So I'm talking about when I just did my first rinse.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing you notice with when I say it's very dominant, Bai Rui Shang is a very dominant tea. So it gives you a lot of powerful aroma, like orchid. It's a face when you just did a rinse, and then when you're in the second brew, so you probably would pick a little bit of would be more osmanthus flowers.
Yeah,
And a little bit of honey
very
notes in it,
aromatic.
okay?
Yeah, like there's like a buttery quality to this, like that milk protein with a really strong flower, like an osmanthus. I can see where that would come through for certain. We'll just I think we've lost you. Olivia?
Okay, that.
The signal. I think the internet is not being nice to you today. It's deciding that.
It's getting tired.
I think so. I think that's what I was explaining to people. It was so simple to bring people onto the call earlier in the call, and then it just got more and more complicated the further we went along. I think that these programs don't like to be on for 24 hours straight. I think that's what we're learning. But
okay.
But we're enjoying this tea. Okay, so please continue. So we have the magnolia, we have the osmanthus, we have the butter qualities, we have
osmanthus, and it actually, and the subsequent brews, what you'll find is a little bit of like a milky note. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then the orchid comes back. It's very fascinating, this tea. That's why I chose that tea to present to you and keep you awake and keep you excited.
Right, yeah.
After 24 hours.
It makes
so
sense.
So I'm gonna, because of time, we're running out of time. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're close. Yeah, I think we can push this to
okay.
to
so let's just go
11,
right to how to
11:55.
enjoy it.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so when we talk about slurping, again, not for every tea, but for high mineral tea, you want to aerate it. This is tea to go with slurping.
Okay.
Now, double slurp. So when you sip it in, I want you to practice to sip it in and then let it fall back out a little bit, not dripping, of course. And then you want to sip it in again through your teeth. Now, your teeth is adding like a sprayer. So the liquid goes like that onto your tongue. And this is what you want, because that saturation will give you a sensation on your tongue. It will give you a little bit of tinglingness. You'll pick up sweetness if the tea has that substance in it. Of course, a premium Cliff tea would give you that for sure. So how to slurp it is, of course, it's a little bit hot, so you don't need to do a lot. You're doing a small sip, okay? So basically, it's like this. Simple. So you're sipping it in, and you make sure your teeth are closed, because that's the hardest part. A lot of people will leave their lips too open and your teeth open, then bloop, it's on your tray.
Yeah.
So you want to close your teeth when you do that. Once more. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Do you
it's
taste
so-
the difference? So
yeah,
when you
it's so
sip on it, make sure you just do as a regular, try it just like regular sipping, and then try the next one with slurping. Then you have you can pick up a lot of difference in the taste and profile of the tea.
You know what I find that it seems to do is it seems to kind of break apart the tannin a bit. Like if there's a little bit of acid, by slurping it through the teeth, it kind of breaks up that acid a bit, and you get a softer experience across the tongue. And that's super interesting.
And then the notes become more prominent when the mineral doesn't overpower everything else.
Yeah, it's rounder, right? There's like a fuller spectrum of flavor. I find that
Correct.
fascinating.
Yes.
Yeah, there's like a less tightness. You know, it loosens it up a bit. It feels like the tea.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So, like I say, this tea for Cliff tea, it should give you 6-8 different brews minimum.
Okay.
So then you get different spectrum of taste throughout each brew.
Okay.
How am I doing with time?
I think we have you for another 6 minutes.
Oh, okay. All right. You're holding up okay?
Yeah, I'm holding up okay. This is great. This is actually an awesome way to end the show. I'm glad I think, Ryan, it makes so much sense to just have tea with Olivia until the end of and Jen, let's just drink tea with Olivia until the clock runs out. I think is a good way to end.
Hey guys.
And the
cheers. I'm keep looking this way because my monitor is this way. So
But
awesome.
Ryan, did you have any questions for Olivia or Jen if you wanted to speak up, or is there anything you guys wanted to ask?
Olivia, I think that you're probably our best guest to end this on, because you're concise. You're saying, what do we want out of this? We want to get the best flavor and the best taste. And you taught us something new, and you taught Jared something new, because that was always fun at the very end of the 24 hours. And you did it in the most humane way possible by just getting right to it, so that it's not like 20 minutes from now, an hour from now, he can still do it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. What are you sipping on right now? Right?
This was the first steep of your tea that I let cool, because we were running around trying to make sure that we could get things going. So
perfect.
I got to actually experience it.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. By the way, when this tea gets cold, it's also very flavorful, because it's become a lot smoother. You don't really need to slurp it as much.
Yeah. It's like honey. Yeah, really, really.
Yes. And another good way to enjoy it is to do a cold brew after. Very delicious.
Makes sense. Yeah. And like cold extractions really draw out a lot more of the floral and the fruit qualities. So I can see how like this being really heavy that way would make so much sense. I'm just brewing about 45 seconds for my third infusion. Do you think that's too long or too little, or would you suggest it go?
Actually, no. For the amount of tea leaf that you have, 45 seconds, it wouldn't be too much.
Okay.
I'm doing a full portion in 150 ml, so I am doing roughly just about 5 seconds here for my second infusion.
I'm kind of cheating.
I don't want.
I have this half full. My 180 is like I'm doing 70 mils over my tea leaves, so.
Okay.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Please.
Oh, that's okay. So I'm saying because I'm doing full portion of it.
Yeah.
This is my full portion. It's not really. A lot of people are doing a lot higher, like 8 to 10 grams, as I say. But I find it here that things are more balanced in terms of taste. So you want it particularly when you first started with Cliff Tea, you want something a little bit more balanced. So you understand what I mean when it's mineral, what I mean when it's floral, and there's layers of floral that you don't want to miss. And because the minerals is overpowering it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that does make
perfect.
sense.
So that's why 6 grams it is.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. Yeah, and I wonder if that's probably relevant to the water that we use here too, right? Like it'd be probably different.
Oh, we got
Like a different
Sorry.
experience in Wu Yi. I imagine the water is going to be different again, and going to qualify or encourage a different dose. Is that correct? Are you dosing?
Yes,
for the West
even
Coast?
in Wu Mountain, if you were to use the water up in the reserve area versus in the city itself, it can be different, the flavor.
I can imagine that. Yeah.
Yes, so definitely up in the reserve, you taste a lot more smoothness, and it is more. I find that the body comes out a lot more. But then again, when I was there, I visit there every other year, and it's just very overpowering that they keep adding strength to their tea, like 10 grams. Usually, when I sit there, they do 10 grams. And you just get a very nice tea high every time. So this is a tea type that I would say, you easily get tea drunk from it. It's just so much in it, it's so long lasting.
I'm so tea drunk. It's probably the most the most tea drunk I've ever been in my life. I have had so many cups of tea. I think I'm on at least 30 cups of tea in the last. Yeah, it's been intense, but it's been amazing. A note on the water, Olivia, is there's this really great water scientist named Christopher Hendon, and he does some research on water. And one of the things that he's found by kind of using a multi-million-dollar piece of equipment and bouncing around molecules in like kind of a closed system is that calcium and sodium calcium and sodium are huge. It wasn't sodium. It was calcium and potassium. I want to say calcium and potassium are the major vehicles for extracting flavor. And another thing is that when you have bicarbonate, like when you have sodium bicarbonate acts as a buffer in solution. So what this all means is that if you have hard water, but there's no presence of calcium, you don't extract flavor. If you have too much or too little, you're going to impact that flavor and slow things and speed things up. But another thing that's really interesting that we don't really talk about when we talk about a lot of the conversation has always been about hard water versus soft water, but the presence of the buffer is really important too. Because if you have too much buffer, you remove all acidity and you make it a kind of like a blank canvas. So you can actually taste water made from when the water has kind of gone over glacial fields. And then you have a completely different, like it kind of interrupts the flavor structure, and you don't get any of this. And so this lovely acidity that we're getting off of this tea, like it's a very balanced acidity, I think is made possible also by the fact that the buffer in this solution, the it needs to be present. You need a little bit. If you don't have it even a little bit, then it gets really two-dimensional. So we need a little bit. So apparently, an ideal water is going to have a presence of a certain amount of mineral content, but specifically this calcium and the presence of a buffer, the sodium bicarbonate. Isn't that interesting? I found it'd be really interesting.
That is, yes, absolutely very interesting. So that's why we call it the mother of tea is water. So water is very important.
Yeah.
We used to have a very specific water system here for making tea. And I decided it wasn't a thing that people can replicate at home. So right now, we're just using one simple single filter. And so at least people can replicate the same taste when they get home. But of course, by all means, if you have a better water system, try it in different settings and see how that turn out.
Well, it's exactly. I know the West Coast is going to be different from what we often say to people is that if you have too much buffer or you want to dilute and make bring some distilled water and add it to it. But most of the people watching could probably make these teas and bring out some beautiful flavors if they just focus on this texture, this flavor that you're trying to draw out. You can actually impact the way that we experience this tea by using these tasting tools that you're bringing to our attention as well. So it's water, it's tea, but I think if we were going to summarize the tea festival, You know, we have this spiritual moment with our teas, but we also have just I think it's about pure enjoyment, right? And I think this enhances that. What you're showing us right now, Olivia, it really adds to this pure enjoyment that we can experience from our teas, and I'm grateful for that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so keep trying different drinking method. Is always something I say is you have now your premium tea, how to make it, how to enjoy it. That's all part of it too, part of the experience.
This encouragement to use all of the tools at our disposal. Thank you so much. Ryan, did you have anything you wanted to add? Jen, if you wanted to speak up, anything you guys wanted to bring to the end of the tea festival here?
Are we going to cut the whole feed live? Done? Forever?
I wonder if we should. Yeah, it'd be
Right,
kind
I'll
of.
put my celebratory cat ears on.
Okay.
We've done it.
Yeah,
We've made the mayhem happen.
I think we can do
I just
that.
want to. I think that finishing on one of the oldest, well, no, the oldest tea shop in this side of this continent is absolutely beautiful, and I hope that even with the silliness of some cat ears, that we can continue on the newness of this with the guidance and the knowledge of knowledge holders like yourself. So thank you to all our guests. Thank you to everybody who showed up, and that means online and on camera. So thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Olivia. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, everybody who's been watching. Apparently, when I was first introducing Olivia, I didn't even have my microphone on. So thank you for your patience, everybody who's been watching. It's been quite an interesting journey. We've had amazing people on. I encourage you, if you're watching the end of this, go back, look at the archive versions as well. We've had a great quick session with Olivia here, but go and check her out at Treasure Green. You're at treasuregreen.com, correct?
Treasuregreen.com. I also recently started a YouTube channel, so
Lovely.
we keep adding more videos in it. And if you want to, look at a little bit more tea content, feel free to check it out.
Amazing. And then you can also go into our YouTube channel. This video is actually being uploaded as we record it, so you can go back in time. You can look at the live performances of music from Yunnan that we had during the Chinese tea ceremony, celebrating. Actually, it was there was also people representing from Guizhou. There was Wadzuka in Japan. We had the Kyoto Tea Festival people up. We've had Tea Mistresses conversation on a rebellion in a teacup. We've had Pedro from O5 Tea, Daniel from the Chinese tea shop. We had Tea Kan. We had Obubu Tea. We've had Whisk. I had a chance to talk. We had Jared Vrani on Unity Jun. Like, it's just such an incredible roster of folks who've spoken up, and this 24 hours has been such a joy. We had Camellia sinensis. We had postcard teas. It's just been an amazing session, and what gratitude for this to be possible with everybody's support. Go check out more information. 2021 will happen. We don't know the form it will happen yet. But we hope for an in-person event. If we have to, it'll be a hybrid, maybe involve some plexiglass or something, and some of these virtual sessions. But it is you who are watching that make this possible. It is the participants, the teachers like Olivia that are willing to share their knowledge that we are so grateful for. And huge appreciation across the board.
I'd just like to pipe in and say Jared and Ryan and Caitlin and Stephen and Micah, thank you for all of your hard work in making this happen and really enduring and inspiring people to come together and share in this festival. So thank you so much. And Olivia, it's so wonderful to see you. Beautiful.
Likewise. Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for having me.
The volunteers, thank you, Jen. That's a very important point. They are, without them, again, it wouldn't happen. So a huge shout out to them. I mean, Stephen and Micah. Micah was up for 24 hours with me, being that support person. Just incredible. But everybody, like Stephen, just working so hard, Ryan working so hard. I could thank forever, but gratitude to everybody. My wife, the world. Thank you so much, everybody. Huge gratitude.
Yeah, I look forward to meeting everyone in person soon.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Take good care.
You too. Bye, Olivia.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, Jen. I think.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you. we will. I think that's that is going to be it. Ryan, it's just you and I right now. That's it. I think we're done.
I'm going to sleep.
Are you going to sleep? Is this this is?
Sharon, I'm going to hang up on you.
I'm going to go to sleep too. We're at 12:02. I think we're officially past time. Goodbye,
Yes.
Ryan.
We'll see you later.
Peace be with you,
Bye.
my friend. I have this ending soon.